Good morning. We are live. Gotta get a little Matt Austin in there. That little grunt of live right here on News 6 Plus, News 6 app, and of course clickorlando.com. I have the windows down. Let me get them up. I'm enjoying this beautiful weather right now. A cool, calm, and collective, beautiful temperature outside, and taking in. Nothing's better than the great smell of fire in the morning. And I mean that extremely sarcastically, because we are here at the Seminole County Fire Rescue Training Center. They have a recruit class currently in their 7th week of 8. So they can taste victory. They can taste the end of their training as they will become certified firefighters here in Seminole County, protecting you, protecting me, as I am a resident of Seminole County. So it is awesome to see some of the men and women that are here, 37 being the oldest in this academy, 20 being the youngest. They have a quite large recruit class, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 plus members of the academy, with 3 of them being ladies. So they, speaking with the PIO, she indicated that this was a high. 3 ladies is big for the recruit class. So that's pretty awesome. Very diverse group of people. We're going to get to talk to the youngest, 20 years old, and see what his story was and why he joined to become a firefighter. I think it was in his blood. Little tease there. But you can see we're out here currently, active. They're on their little break at the moment. And towards the end of this stream, and we'll end it with a pretty cool demo, you are going to get to see these men and women train in a live fire scenario, a live fire training facility where they light the building up, they pump the smoke in there, and these men and women go in and simulate real life situations. I have a thing. I don't like fire and smoke and all that stuff, and everyone becomes their version of first responders. And yeah, the cops and the firefighters, we have our brotherhood, our sisterhood, little qualms with each other, but at the end of the day, these are men and women that go out every single day to make sure you and I are safe. So this is pretty amazing to be out here with this crew today. And yeah, the access we get is pretty incredible. So it's always fun. So what I would like to do at some point here within the next few minutes, we're going to get out. We're going to take a look at the facility, what they have out here, and just take a real cool look at everything going on. We have a lot of the recruits doing their thing. Get my shades on here. They're dirty. Don't judge me. You know you do it too. Clean them up here and we'll get out of the truck. Beautiful day as we start the Thanksgiving week, so we need to be ready and cautious about that. But the training doesn't stop for these men and women during the Thanksgiving. They got to keep on going because they want to finish their academy class here. I remember being the FHP Academy. 27 weeks long. And we live there. And that was something crazy. You wonder why troopers are a little different? That's why. So, of course, they've got some of their equipment. Their training staff is out here, along with their amazing public information staff. Anytime I need anything in Seminole County, it happens like that. I can contact any of them, and they're ready to rock and roll and highlight all the stuff that their men and women are currently doing. So that's really a good time. So we're going to hop on out, check out some of the equipment before they get started, talk with 2 of their folks here, a training staff member who's their sworn public information officer, and then, of course, one of the recruits. We'll jump back in here, swap out some batteries, and then watch these guys and gals train, which I'm super stoked for. So let's plug in our gear here. We got some command staff showing up. They want to see what's going on, of course. Their future men and women, their future command staff, really. There's a future chief in this crowd. There is a future battalion commander, or a commander. Sorry, guys, I don't know the lingo completely. And just future lieutenants, engineers. The future of the department is right here. Every single one of them started here at one point. So this is pretty cool to see this. I wish we were able to dive in one day to the FHP Academy, because that would be some access. The stuff that you guys would see and how the Academy is regimented is pretty incredible. So let's hop on out and see what's going on out here this morning. So make sure everything's tied in correctly. We have no problems. GoPro is good to go. I just know we've had problems lately, y'all, so I don't want there to be problems. Everything's I'm doing systematic. I don't need you that close in my face. Ready? All right. So we're going to hop on out of the truck, check out some of the gear that they've got, look at the things, talk with an individual, speak with a recruit, and then get back in, swap out the battery so we can watch a live exercise take place in a burning building. We'll take a little tour real quick, too. This is going to be cool. Cool. Check in, make sure you can hear me. Make sure I take my phone with me, because that would be a problem if we lose connection and the staff tries to get a hold of me. All right. So we hopped on out. Make sure we got the signal going. Everything looks great. The truck, man, this truck is so beautiful. So if you're just joining us right now, we're live at clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and the News 6 app. And we're out here at Seminole County Fire Training Center, where their recruit class is currently on week 7 of 8 of the academy, meaning these men and women are so excited to wrap this up and get out into the field. Being a recruit is stressful, but it's equally exciting. So it's pretty awesome to be out here knowing what these guys are feeling. So you can see here, they have some of their training. These are cargo containers converted to be a building so that they can train on. Super resourceful, super durable, and let's be real, it's probably pretty cheap too. So you can see right inside there, it's been converted to have rooms, all sorts of things. They have dummies inside that weigh the exact same as a normal human, so that these recruits can really figure it out and see what it's like under stress, what that dead weight feels. That was Brenda checking in. So as we're out here, you can see you got the cadre. This is the firefighter staff that is tasked here at the academy, usually identified with a red shirt. Very common that the red shirts are your instructor staff, so that they're easily identifiable. We have these in the law enforcement world as well, on the firing range, in the academy. These are the members that are tasked with keeping you in line, making sure that the training day continues, and ultimately in charge of the training curriculum on a daily basis. Anywhere that there's an exercise taking place, the red shirts are the ones that are fully running the show out here. Recruits are hanging out, taking a little break. It's beautiful outside, but what they're going to be doing and what their training day entails, think about this, the intensity of what they're training for is our worst day, right? So we had a tragic, real nasty fire up in Daytona this morning. People's lives were lost. Firefighters literally had to go into there, so they have to train for these situations in real kind of scenarios. Obviously controlled to an extent, but the only way to train or know how to run into a fire is to literally run into a fire. So that's what they're out here doing. Training staff, huge complex. Look at this. Double story, multiple stories. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-story building with multiple ways of accessing it. Then outside on this side over here, they've got the water running. They're going to be doing a real exercise out here that we're going to get to watch. So it's going to be pretty cool. So let's go a little further over here. See, they've got the engines out here. Look, this is cool. So what other infrastructure that we have throughout Central Florida? Think about this for a second. Buildings, right? Airports, but we also have trains. I'm just now seeing this. They have a train to be able to train on. Like it? So when these firefighters respond to scenes, I think it's pretty cool to know as a resident out here that they're training on real world stuff. Oh, how do they know how to get and put a fire out on a train? Because they have a train. How do they know how to get into these buildings or make entry into different doors? Because they have different doors that they're out here actively training on. I think that's pretty cool. And they're training with real equipment. On the other side over here, I did see a metal car. So every morning, or at least once a week, I report to you guys of some type of vehicle fire, and it messes things up. But once fire rescue gets out there, it's taken care of, right? How do they know how to get to the car? The certain parts. Well, out here, they have vehicles, smashed up vehicles that they know how to break into. They can train on it. So when they get to you, they know what to do. There is no questioning. They have a set guideline in place. Look at that. Even a metal vehicle so they could light on fire so they can train to put it out. Pretty cool. I love this stuff. Love it, love it, love it. So if you're just joining us live, we're at the Seminole County Fire Rescue Training Center. And it doesn't get better than this when we get to watch real life, real world training scenarios. Whether it's with law enforcement and they're using live fire type training, SWAT teams, firing range, stuff like that, or with the fire department, and they obviously are using fire, smoke, their real equipment. And that's what's pretty cool. All their equipment is laid out here individually so that they know, and there's a system to that. I don't think a lot of people even know that about the firefighters. Just like with being a cop, we have a way of putting the uniform on. When it comes to the firefighters, there is a way of throwing that gear on in a way that cuts out seconds. And to you, it might be like, oh, well, it's just 2-3 seconds. 2-3 seconds back in that vehicle responding could be the difference between saving someone's life. So that's why they're always training. So I'm waiting for the public information officer to come chat with me. We're going to chat with him a little bit about all the things that the kind of academy entails, and we'll have that inside look, and then we're going to get to talk to a recruit. Maybe we'll talk to that recruit first, if I can find him here in just a second. I'm looking for him and see if I can find him. But looks like the command team just split up, and they're going to all get ready for the training. So this is going to be really cool. You can see the crews getting ready. When he's done, yep. All right, sounds good. That's Miss Doreen. She is the PIO for Seminole County Fire. That's George right there. So guys, if you're joining us, this is a fluid stream. We got a lot going on out here. Recruits are on a current break getting ready for a live fire exercise out here on week 7. So this is an 8-week academy. They're on week 7. They could taste the finish line, but they've got to prove that they have what it takes in the real world. So how do you do that? You bring the real world to them, and you set up a live fire exercise, and we're going to be able to watch this live. The stream's going to be a little longer than usual, just because it's fluid, and we're making sure that we're good to go and that we've got everything going on. I think our guy is getting ready to chat with me. We've got a lot of yelling going on. Crew's getting ready.
Thank you, Chief. I was just looking at it.
I don't know if you guys saw that. attention to detail is everything. Everything is laid in a certain way, in a certain manner. And the fire chief was walking by, and he noticed that the entry tools were not laid properly. Although they were not in any disarray or any mess, the attention to detail is huge. And he noticed that, moved it, fixed it, kept walking, and one of the other cadre, one of the other instructors, I'm talking about that stuff on the ground, saw what happened and was like, whoa, sorry, chief. Pretty cool. I'm an attention to detail guy. You guys already know that. And to see that was pretty cool. Looks like they're going to get ready here. All right, so we're going to talk real quick here to the sworn version of the PIO, which was what I used to do, representing the agency and things like that. And he is coming over to me here very shortly. I'm trying to get in his way so that he makes sure he sees me and that we chat. There's a lot going on here. They're all getting ready for this exercise. And this is a recruit class, week 7, Seminole County Fire Training Academy of week 8. And they graduate next week, and they're prepping for a live fire exercise. What I mean by that, real fire, real smoke, real buildings, real gear, real world. And they're gonna go into this semi-controlled setting into this building here and attempt to make entry, attempt to rescue the people inside, and then of course get out safely. We're gonna get to watch that here within the next few minutes. As teams start to get ready, we're gonna talk with the Seminole County Fire Rescue. So it's pretty amazing when I get to chat with sworn PIOs because they kind of know what's going on. We're going to turn this way because the light a little bit. There, we'll put it in our face. I got some shades going on. First and foremost, introduce yourself. We hear a lot from Doreen, but we don't get to see you very often. So introduce yourself, please.
My name is Dave Williams. I'm a lieutenant paramedic for the fire department here in Seminole County, and I've been here since '96.
Long time.
It is. I started actually with Lake County back in '94, so I'm coming up on almost 30 years here this June.
Awesome, awesome. So PIO world, first responder.
Yes.
It's an interesting side of the house to be involved with, and
it is.
Obviously you're an active firefighter as well.
Yes.
So do you dabble in both?
I do. So right now I'm assigned to administration up here at our training center. So I've been with our recruits here for the last 7 weeks now.
Okay.
Getting them ready for the field as they transition from the academy out to basically coming into the real world of first response.
Right.
And on the weekends and when I'm not assigned to the 40 hours, I can work overtime out in the field. So I still actively work out in the field.
That reminds me when I was like, okay, nothing. It's a quiet day as a PIO. Let me go work the highway a little bit.
Yes.
Today, kind of a special day, week 7 of 8.
Yes.
They can taste the victory line, but what I was telling the viewers is they've got to finally be tested a little bit.
Yes.
Right? Real world, real life, real training in what I'm calling a semi-controlled environment.
Yeah, it is a semi-controlled environment. So, the first week it's welcome to Seminole County. Let's do all the paperwork, get your insurance, get everything taken care of, and then we come into the training through the last 7 weeks. Forcible entry, put on their gear, go drills. Basically, how fast can you put your gear on? The tones go out. You're at the station. You're cooking. You're sleeping. You're eating. Whatever you're doing, those tones go off. Everything stops. You've got to get to that call. We have 1 minute to get to the truck, and then you think about how long it takes. The call comes in, dispatch gets it, dispatches us out. So every second we delay. So it starts here at training. We get them in that gear. How quick can you get in the gear? We give them 1 minute 30 seconds to go from full uniform into this, but not just this. But you can see they got their air packs on, their helmets, and they have to be breathing air all in 1 minute and 30 seconds. So
it's a lot to ask.
It is.
But the job is serious.
The job is serious. Yeah, someone's life is, every breath that we're wasting out here, someone's inside there and they're losing their breath.
So what are we going to see today?
So right now it's the culmination of all the training. It's going to be forcible entry. They're going to be pulling hose lines. They're going inside, fighting a fire. Heavy smoke conditions, high temperatures. The temperature at the bottom is going to be about 300 degrees.
Wow.
At the ceiling, we're looking at 12 to 1300 degrees. Now this is a Class A burn, so it's we have a certain room designated for the burn, the fire. Okay. We're burning wood and hay. And then we have hose lines in there. We have safety teams. It's all very organized.
Semi-controlled.
It's semi-controlled. So they're going to be making full entry. They're going to be breathing air. When they go in the high smoke or the heavy smoke, high heat conditions, not only are they going to be pulling a hose line and putting some of the fire out, but they're also going to be looking for victims inside, mannequins, and they're going to be pulling them out to safety. Awesome.
LT, well, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. I'm going to watch a little bit from a distance, and then I think after it's said and done, we'll talk to that recruit, because it looks
Sounds
like you
good.
guys are super focused right now.
Yep, they are getting ready.
Awesome, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right, guys, you're about to see this. They've got the building going. We are ready to rock and roll. Let's see what time it is. Few more minutes. We're going to jump in the truck real quick and change out our battery to make sure we've got everything we need for this. I can smell the smoke brewing up. So let's jump in real quick. So you're watching crews right now get ready for this live exercise that they are about to do out here at the Seminole County Fire Rescue Training Center. And if you can tell, I'm a little excited. I think it's because the lieutenant got me a little hype. That guy, well-spoken, super passionate, and you can tell he enjoys it. Heck, if you've been doing it this long, I would hope that you have a passion for this, and you can just definitely tell he does. So we're going to get out. I am moving at lightning speed. You can see crews out there getting ready for this amazing kind of demonstration here. You don't get to see this type of stuff live. We only ever get to bring it to you pre-recorded, you know. So we're going to get as close as we can without needing safety equipment, because I want to be safe as well when we do this. And you can see the crews are there. Let's jump back out. All right, so we're back out. All right, guys, you're watching these recruits here get ready to make entry. So you hear those beeping. Those are these pagers going off from fire rescue, giving them an indicator that they have a problem, that there is an emergency, and that they've got to keep them going. So it's beeping to let each other know, hey, this is where my buddy's at, this is what's going on, and things like that. So you can see different teams here, different groups getting ready with their strategy on how they think they want to make the entry into the building.
So they're going to have two different scenarios. They have one right now, and each of the teams are built into engine companies and rescue companies. Each one has a certain function inside. So right now they're being told by their instructors what they're expecting inside and what the expectations are for them to perform.
Awesome.
So they're getting the smoke barrel ready. It's going to get the conditions inside really smoky for them. You know, these Class A burns that we have only produce so much. It's not like a regular structure fire. The structure fires that we have now, you know, couches and everything is built with, it's not the natural wood stuff that we used to build
synthetics
stuff.
and stuff, plastics.
Right. And so with all these synthetics, we get that black, acrid, thick smoke, which unfortunately produces really hazardous gases like cyanide. And one inhalation of that gas can actually take someone out and render them unresponsive.
Wow.
So, you know, we're teaching them that as they go in, you know, like say for example, this afternoon we're going to do on the second floor, we're going to have a victim inside. They're going to take a ladder, they're going to break that window out, they're going to go inside, do a quick search at the window, they're going to go and close that door and control the flow path of that heat coming.
So there's a lot to learn other than just putting a fire out. You have to learn about fire.
It is.
And air and how stuff like that works.
Something as simple for our crews is when they go in, the type of nozzle and how much water they're using. You know, something we don't think about a lot, and we bring that here in the academy, is as you're flowing water, for every gallon of water that you're flowing inside that fire, you know, when you're boiling something on the stove, it's 212 degrees where water becomes steam. 1 gallon of water becomes 1,700 gallons of steam.
Wow.
So if we're flowing 150 gallons per minute on this small red hand line right here in front of us, we're introducing thousands of gallons of steam per minute. So that's why we don't go in with that fog.
No one thinks about that.
Right.
No one thinks about that.
So we have tips on our nozzles that are straight stream, and basically it penetrates, it goes through without disrupting that thermal layer. We don't get that steam effect.
You're hitting the
put
source.
The fire out.
Right.
We're hitting the source of it, not creating a steam environment, because essentially we're going to turn that person or a family pet into a lobster.
Wow.
We're going to steam them alive. So.
So what is a safety check? What's happening right now?
So safety check right now, everyone's got their air packs on. They're going to start looking at their gear to make sure there's no exposed skin. As they light the fire inside, they're going to put their mask on. Again, one more safety check. And that also includes the radios. Each crew member has a radio. We're going to make sure they're all on the same radio tack, that they hear us and they can key up and talk back to us.
Awesome. This is going to be pretty intense, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't get to see the real world exercises often.
No, this is, again, the culmination. The past 6 weeks, we've gone in here multiple times. We've done, going into the second floors, looking for victims, pulling them out. Same on the first floor. But we've used the theatrical smoke. Just like you go to Halloween Horror Nights. Okay. It's cold smoke, and you don't get the same effect.
This will affect you if things are not proper.
At the floor, you're looking at 200 to 300 degrees. So that heat is going to change how they react. They're going to get exhausted quicker. And, the fatigue of the gear, and we want them to work through that.
Okay. All right, guys. So what you're seeing here, this is going to be real world stuff. Pretty cool exercise that we don't get to watch very often on Trooper Steve on patrol. So we appreciate Seminole County giving us the access today to be able to see this. And it's more than just throwing gear on and putting water on a fire. They have to strategically think what is the safest and smartest way to do this to end the fire as quick as possible without causing extra issues. All right, I'm hearing the dispatch call come out. Everyone's being told to stand by. All right, so you see crews now. They get the order to mask up.
All right, ignition, you can go ahead and light.
All right, you heard the order. They just gave the order to light the fire.
Now, as a practice scenario right now, we're not going for time on this, but one of the things we drill on them is that...
Engine 11, Rescue 1. Engine 12, Rescue 2. Respond to a residential structure fire. Heavy smoke and flame showing from the second floor. All units emergency.
So we're in uniform at the station. We have them standing next to their gear. They have 1 minute, 30 seconds to get out of their station uniform and into this full gear with the air pack breathing air.
So at this stage, it's almost second nature that they're moving pretty quick.
Yeah, we do what we call go drills. 1, 2, 3, go. And they have 1 minute, 30 seconds to be in there. Otherwise,
it's push-up time. Yeah.
We're going to do a little bit of exercise.
All right, guys, you can start to see the smoke coming out of the building. Fire rescue, they've arrived already now on scene. And now these recruits are going to respond real world. So there's a system to even how the hoses get laid. You don't just pull the hoses out, because at the end of the day you need the water to flow and you need to wrap them up properly when it's said and done. So there's a system to everything that they're doing. You can see the smoke coming out of the second story here as these recruits get ready to begin to make entry.
So we have these hoses loaded on the engine a specific way. It's a modified Minuteman. So we load, you can see this hose load is preloaded. When it charges with water, it's easier to drag inside. If we had it looped up and knotted up and we get kinks in the hose, we affect the water flow.
And it's time.
Exactly.
See that water?
I'm sorry, we put them through scenarios too. Like if they were to come up on this and all of a sudden someone appears from that window, they know life priority is the most important thing. They're going to get a ladder, they're going to make entry up in there and pull that victim down. It's all about life safety and them property.
All right, guys, you can see they begin to make entry.
So one of the things we're going to do is we bleed that hose line before we go inside. If it's an oxygen deficient environment and that there's some air inside that hose, as we go in and open it up, we introduce oxygen in there. That's an oxidizer. It's going to create that fire to get a little more intense, a little bit hotter. So we eliminate that by flowing that hose before we even go in.
So as like a non-firefighter, I would see the fire at the top there, right?
Yes.
And I'd think, okay, why are we not hitting that right away?
So if there's someone inside and we put that water inside on the fire, every gallon of water we put in there turns into about 1,700 gallons of steam at 212.
Like we were talking earlier, the lobster.
That fire is in excess of 1,200 degrees right now, so we're creating 1,000 gallons of steam and we're going to burn someone inside. So as we're hoping, is that door closed on the inside? Is it just a room and contents fire? If it is, and there's victims, again, adult victims, they tend to want to escape, whereas children will hide in closets and under beds.
So stupid question for me, with that room is actually cooler right now without water on it, technically. In a sense?
Potentially. The room is going to be very hot no matter what. Obviously, we're looking at temperatures upwards of 1,000 degrees. But if we put that steam in there, it's going to disrupt that thermal balance, and we can actually push that heat all the way down. Where it's 300 degrees at the floor, now we just put that 1,000 degrees at the floor level.
Got it.
So we're trying to entertain as much survivability as possible right now. The other reason, too, we don't want to like break the windows next to it, because once we open a window, we've created a new flow path. Fire and heat, the smoke is going to push the path of least resistance, and if that door is open next door, or if the fire is contained in that corner where you see, and that is in the same room, that fire is actually going to draw and spread a lot quicker. So we don't want to break windows just inadvertently. We're going to create more fire spread. Anytime we have a second floor fire, or we have a fire on the first floor and there's 2 or 3 stories, we're anticipating that we're going to be up on those floors, search and rescue, looking for victims, putting the fire out. So you can see they're just pulling that 24-foot ladder off.
So where they're prepping to make entry somewhere else?
Entry and second means of egress for firefighters.
Gotcha.
Probably going to do is they're probably going to do a full 360. We want to give them a little bit of work to do, so we should see them coming from this other side here.
Gotcha.
Walk over.
So these teams that we're seeing standing by on the outside, what are they standing by for? So like this recruit class right there, that squad, what is their purpose right now? Just watching and observing, or would that be a real world standby team?
So what we're doing is we actually don't all arrive on scene at the same time.
Okay,
so
got it.
Based on how you arrive, we're going to give them responsibilities later on in that fire.
So you've got to delay these guys out here to simulate, hey, you can't help just yet just because you're here.
Correct.
Oh, that's gotta be antsy just watching.
So you can see there's a burn barrel back here.
All right, so that's how you guys are starting the fire.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Well, that gives the smoke inside. It creates more thicker smoke environment inside. So yeah, the closest station, that's at that fire, they're backed up by the other stations, other cities, other agencies in the area. And again, we don't all arrive on scene at the same time. So that's why we kind of stage some of these units. We're not letting them go in right away.
Gotcha.
So as we arrive on scene, there's a lot of things that have to be done. We do a 360 on a walk around. 1, see if the fire is contained or confined to a certain area of the house. And then 2, we've got to secure utilities. Got to turn the power off. Water, electricity don't mix, especially when we're inside. Right. So we're going to control those utilities. If there's a gas tank, that may be a gas-fed fire. We can walk around here if you want.
If you're joining us, we have an extended special stream going on. You're watching at clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, or the News 6 app. We're here at the Seminole County Fire Rescue Training Center, where their recruit class is on week 7 of 8 and going through a live fire exercise of a structure with multiple units responding, a second-story fire. You can see the smoke coming out of this building currently, a fire actually up there, multiple crews already inside attempting to put this fire out as other crews are simulating their response from other stations here. This class graduates next week and super excited, but part of that is making sure they know what's going on in a real world scenario. So they've set this up out here as a semi-controlled real world. We're using real smoke, real fire, real gear, and real people to make sure that they're ready to go. And now they're about to dispatch Rescue 2, which were these other recruits standing by waiting. Now, normally they'd be in their truck on the way, responding out here. So just imagine as someone training out here, knowing you've got classmates inside, that you're here and you're just irking to get inside there. So Now that they've been told, they can respond, and they're going to begin to assume their responsibilities that they've been tasked with once arriving on scene. Multiple crews arriving. As they arrive, we've heard from the lieutenant a little while ago, they have to then be tasked. So what you're seeing here, they're bringing a victim out.
So now whereas that mannequin may look light, that's actually about 150 pounds. We have heavy weighted mannequins in there to simulate real life patients or victims inside. So now they know where that victim was inside, they're going to go back in and continue that search. So as you saw, they were going in, moving that hose line. We teach them techniques to get that hose line around corners and through obstacles. There's couches and everything inside, especially environments like porterhouses. We have difficult situations. So we've worked with them to help advance these lines. You can see they're going back in now. They brought that victim out. Now they're going to go back and continue that search, because where there's one, there might be another. They're probably going to follow that hose line back in. That's Rescue 2 that just arrived on scene. They're going to follow that hose line to as close to the fire as possible, and they're going to go in. There's another rescue going up top there.
What's visibility like in there?
So it really depends on what's burning inside.
Okay.
This kind of fire here, because the wood and hay that we're using, and we also use a smoke barrel, you probably have about 2, 3, 4 foot visibility. But with all the couches and all the synthetics that are being produced,
It's pretty dark.
you can be in fires where literally I can take this flashlight off my jacket, put it in my face, and until it gets right on my mask, I'm not going to see it.
Wow.
It's that thick, black, acrid smoke. We teach our recruits, we do a lot of time in our gear. You think about your 5 senses. When you're in your gear and the smoke, you can't see, you can't taste, you can't smell, you can't touch anything. So it really comes down to what did you learn during your training, not just here, but the academy. So we put a lot of hours into the physical training and just repetition of getting these drills in.
Man, you can see things falling in there, and I'm sure it just gets worse as it continues, obviously, but
It does. The longer it stays, the fire's going in there, the more other items in the room heat up, so we look for flashover and all that stuff.
Okay.
So right now we have the burn continuing to produce the heat, so we're putting them in a stressful environment. We want to push them to their limits.
so if they think they're about to get it out, you guys
Correct.
are keeping it alive.
We're going to keep it going for a little bit. We're allowing the little squirts just to keep the temperature in check.
Okay.
But we want to work them. We want to get them through this full bottle. This is the time for them to learn what their capabilities are. We've had other firefighters from other departments that they got hired here in Seminole County. We bring them in, and we see that they have an issue with their air pack. They're actually there's almost a phobia of going in that dark environment. So through the cold smoke training we've done over the past couple of weeks,
That's interesting.
yeah, we get them through that. We want them to succeed.
Do you see that from bad habits, or not even bad habits, maybe just non-exposure to certain type of calls?
Very much so.
Like you have very rural firefighters that may not have structures that come here to Seminole.
The academy that they went to, they may not have had the capabilities of some of our burn rooms that we have here in Central Florida.
Wow.
So, we take people from all over the United States that become firefighters. So whatever training they had before, they weren't exposed to it, and when they get into this, they realize, wow, this is a lot more than I encountered.
Right.
And
I want to get out of your guys' shot over here while you guys are shooting stuff too. So you said the dummy was how much?
So this is about 150 pounds, but we do have mannequins that are 225 pounds.
Wow.
You figure if something happens to us inside there with all my gear on, we're looking at an additional 75 pounds. So 200 pounds, throw on to 75 pounds of gear, that's 275 pounds that they're going to have to drag
So
me
you
out
said what you're wearing right now is without your oxygen, or with oxygen?
With the air tank that I have, my helmet, gloves, everything is between 60 and 75 pounds, depending on the tools that I'm carrying. Now we do have on the air packs, there's a device you can drag from. On the back of my jacket, there's a handle they can pull. We also carry, we carry extra supplies in our pockets,
Right.
like this webbing.
A bunch of extra gear, yeah.
I can use it to tie around, and we can help drag them out. But yeah, we add that weight, but also society today, we do have people that are 200-300 pounds. We have to be able to bring them out.
Engine 11 did not copy your entire transmission. Rescue 2 assist engine 11 with taking the victim out. Engine 11 command. We are passing our victim. Rescue 2.
So one of the things we work on them too is you can hear the communications on the radio here. You're talking in the smoke, they're flowing water, they have the fire overhead. Sometimes the communications get garbled or two people trying to talk at once. And so we try and talk to them about remain calm. This is what we train for. This is our job. This isn't the time to yell or scream. We're professionals. We're firefighters.
Don't be that one guy
Exactly.
every fire station or police sector has that enjoys hearing themselves on
Exactly.
the radio. I had a guy once that we'd joke with him all the time, and his transmissions would include, like, obviously not, but be like, oh, the sky's blue today. It's like, come on, man, just get what you need across because time is vital and you don't need the radio clogged up.
Yep.
It looks like they're pulling someone else out.
Yep, they got another victim they're bringing out here.
All the way out! Your victim has to get to the rescue!
So what you're seeing is they have found a second victim on the second floor.
Alright, I got your victim. Go back in, complete your search.
Rescue 1. Confirming you are doing the search of the first floor.
So they know exactly where they left that search off, so they're going to go back in and continue that search. Even though we're using mannequins, we tell our recruits that these are real patients. When you come out, carry them. We're not going to drag them because that's someone you're dragging on the floor, on the ground, down the stairs. So these mannequins are real people. We're going to bring them out and then continue that care with our rescues.
Rescue 2, secondary search of the first floor.
So command gave them an assignment. They want to make sure they're going back in to continue the primary search on the first floor. They checked that on the radio. Now they're going back in to continue their job.
So I've noticed a color differentiation between helmets.
Yes.
What is that?
So for Seminole County, it's different for each agency, but for Seminole County, you can see on their helmets they have the orange tetrahedrons.
Okay.
And that signifies that they're in their first probationary period.
Okay.
Once they're out of that probationary period, they take the orange ones off and go to the lime colored.
Okay.
That's the traditional firefighting helmet here. After 10 years of service in Seminole County, you get a black helmet. That's kind of like your tenure. You get
Nice.
that recognition.
Okay, I like that.
And then at the point of 10 years, you get a leather helmet. Again, it's a sign of being here for 10 years. You've earned that helmet, and that's yours. From there, it's a rank structure. Red is
Okay.
going to be lieutenant. From above lieutenant, you have the white helmets, which are chiefs. And
Got
that
it.
could be anywhere from battalion chief up to our fire chief, Matt Kenley. They all have white helmets.
Made a copy, knocked out on the fire.
Does the fire chief come out to these events often to watch the
He does,
recruits
yes.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
He's actually very active here with our recruits, coming out, talking to them, making sure their progress is up to department standards.
Never met him.
He's for us, for Seminole County, he's the first fire chief that started as a firefighter and worked his way all through the ranks
In Seminole County.
in Seminole County. Yep,
That's a big deal
It is.
because a lot of people recently, even throughout Central Florida, tend to hire outside former chiefs and stuff like that, or deputy chiefs to come in and.
The great thing is that his dad, Chief Kenley, was the assistant chief here when the department founded back in 1974 with Chief Gary Kaiser.
What an homage!
So being at home, he had the unique opportunity of seeing from an administrative standpoint with his dad, and now here he is. He's gone through the ranks as a firefighter,
awesome.
a paramedic, a lieutenant, battalion chief, assistant chief, and now he's our fire chief.
Super cool.
It
Super
is.
cool. Very, very rare. You're
It
right.
is.
Very rare. So once people are removed from here and they've determined that the search, there's no lives involved, what are we switching into? No longer recovery or rescue at that point? It's secure or?
So it really depends on the initial call. If they're saying that people are inside, once we get that primary all clear, we can definitely get more aggressive with the attack. Again, watching that water flow turn into steam, we get more aggressive with it. we get the fire out, we go into overhaul mode. We're trying to save as much property as possible for the residents here.
Okay.
If we do have victims, our biggest concern is the inhalation of smoke, the cyanide and all the toxic gases that go with it. We actually carry cyano kits on our hazmat units, battalion chiefs, and certain other trucks throughout the county. So we can administer, it's a medicine that even the hospitals don't have.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody carrying it.
Yeah, it's basically it's a vitamin B12 that we put in through IV purposes, through IV access, and it converts that cyanide and the other gases into basically a harmless substance that's secreted later on, and the survivability goes way up with these.
Wow, that's pretty cool. All right, so they just given a terminate to the exercise. All right, so the training exercise has ended. Index. So that's usually what we call over the radio.
Yeah. So for this,
I'm out here speaking my cop term in
right?
firefighter country.
Hey, we love you guys just the same here. So our goal here was, get the hose line up to the second floor, find the 3 victims. They've accomplished that task. Now they're going to come out. We're going to make sure we have our safety checks inside, make sure everyone's out. We're going to let the continuation of the burn to get all that stuff up there to burn out. We'll debrief. We'll talk about the pros, the cons, what they did really good, what they could do better next time. Again, it's all about learning. And we actually encourage mistakes here at the Academy with them. We want them to make mistakes because that's going to be something they put in their toolbox for when they're on a real life scenario. Hey, I've had this happen before. This is the mistake, or this is the error, or this is what I encountered. How did I fix it? This is how we overcome.
Well, if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
Exactly.
If you come in here knowing it, then hey, what are you figuring out at that point?
And that's one thing we love about, we're trying to be very humble that, we know what we know. We're jack of all trades, master of none. We're always learning. This is not a career or a job where, hey, I gone to school, I know it all.
Right. Oh, every call is different.
Yes.
I'm sure you've seen some weird stuff.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So one thing too is they're still bringing that hose line out. Whatever goes in, we're going to bring out. We never leave the nozzle unattended inside. So even though they're hot, they're exhausted, they've been in 300 plus degrees up there, they're still working hard all the way to the very end.
You gotta let people know as you're coming out. So we're running into the hose team, right? So you tell them, hey, I got a victim. If there's 5 people on line, it's necessary. A few of them can come off that line and help us move the victim down. If we need, or at least off their hose. So that's where we're
So what you're watching is they're debriefing right now. They've got an instructor that was with them and then 3 recruits. As they made entry, they're being supervised the entire time. The exercise has ended and now they're going through it. What mistakes did we make? What things did we learn? How did everything go? And ultimately, they're going to do this again throughout the day. That's the individual we're going to talk to. I'd love to chat with him while he's going through it. After they're done.
he's done.
So you see each group that went in now going through that safety brief that the lieutenant was telling us about. What'd we see? Safety check. How's everyone's gear look? Is everyone okay? Everyone's equipment accounted for. What good things, bad things. And then they'll have a big debrief here as a class and talk through it. You guys are going to be going through this again, I'm sure, a few times, right?
Yeah.
This is not just a one-time, hey, have fun,
No, we're
learn
doing
it.
multiple burns today. Not only, because right now they may be assigned to, like this is an engine assignment right here.
Okay.
The next time they're going to be put on a rescue.
Change it up.
Each apparatus has a different responsibility. Whereas engine 1 went in the first time they had fire attack. Engine 2 may be pulling a secondary line or laddering the building on the backside, controlling utilities. We want them to be exposed to as many roles as possible before they get out into the field with real life scenarios.
Nice. Now, at what stage in a firefighter's career do they drive?
So
That's an assignment, is it?
we've actually just transitioned to having an engineer's position, so that's
Okay.
something that's evolving with us. For Seminole County, the new standard is after 3 years, you're eligible to test for engineer.
Okay.
You're driving a 40,000-pound apparatus. What do you typically drive off duty? Is it
Right.
a small,
It's not that.
2-door sedan, stick shift? Is it something? Yeah, it's very different, especially when you're talking about 750 gallons of water that's up on top. It's a very top-heavy truck. You get to specialty trucks like the tower trucks. You have thousands of pounds up on top of those.
A lot of extra
units.
training that goes into that.
Absolutely. So
What's one of these rigs cost?
So
So like this one here.
this
Engine
right here,
11,
engine
yeah.
11. About 2 years ago, it was almost $500,000, but now they're upwards of $750,000 outfitted, ready to go.
A ladder?
A tower truck, you're looking at $1.5 million
Tower
to
truck.
$2 million. Yep.
Wow.
And yeah, there's different terms. They're
Yep.
interchangeable. It depends on what departments call them. But
Okay.
so we have Quince, which is basically it's got the tower on top with no platform. It can squirt water. Basically, it's an elevated platform that has a ladder on it that's movable. Then you have the tower trucks, which has a platform you can work off of it. You can actually put the Stokes baskets, make rescues off of it. They actually had a rescue on 434 in Longwood yesterday.
Wow.
They had a 25-foot cherry picker that got stuck. The mechanics broke down, and he was stuck 25 feet up.
That's-
So Tower
it
39
worked.
came out. They put the bucket up. He walked right off into the bucket,
Done.
and they brought him down. So
And then your average ambulance or rescue?
they are now upwards of $250,000 for those rescues.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gotten very expensive.
But people need to understand this is not, it's not a police car.
Correct.
This is, and I'll be the first to say it, anything, and I don't hate, anything could be converted to a police car. Not anything could be converted to fire rescue.
Right.
You guys need
There's-
certain things and resources that
Correct.
you can't do to a Ford Interceptor.
Yeah, so like just say the engine, say it's NFPA standard for an engine. It has to have so many feet of hose, so much water, so many different types of ladder. A rescue has to be able to hold the patient securely, have so many different the stock, the medical supplies, the medications.
So there's a written rule book.
There's a written rule that we have to follow.
Right.
It's a federal standard and also the state standards.
There's no Chrysler Pacificas with red lights rolling around in Seminole County.
Exactly.
At least not legal ones. So they might be the Seminole County Sheriff's Office if that's the case.
Exactly.
So awesome. This team's about to debrief, wrap up here, and we're going to get to chat here for a little bit
Yeah, we'll get Noah here.
with Noah. And Noah, believe it or not, is our youngest recruit that's out here, 20 years old, but has a real interesting background when it comes to why he became a firefighter and things like that. So Noah's going to come over here. He's exhausted, and that's the purpose of talking to Noah now that he's done, exhausted, and forgot that everything that we were going to talk to him about. So no, I'm going to just go back and forth here. Introduce yourself.
My name is Noah Getty. I was born and raised in Oviedo, Florida, here in Seminole County. Never been anywhere else. Best county ever. So.
All right. The obvious question that I'm supposed to ask, and you've got a pretty cool story. So, why a firefighter?
It's the best job in the world. I mean, there's nothing better.
Whoa.
It's the best job. I'll argue with that all day long. But I've had plenty of family in the service, not just fire. Work at hospitals. I got grandparents in the Navy as medics. It just kind of goes in our blood that we want to get out there and help the community get better.
So, you're 20 years old.
Yes, sir.
You're the youngest one in this recruit class. Hats off to you for doing that. I joined the military at 18, so I get it. How does that feel, being so young and making a decision this big?
It feels good, actually. I'm able to step up and help people who need help. It's not really about my age, but we all have a good work ethic out here, and then we can get things done efficiently and save lives in the process. It's always
Hardest
a win.
part about the academy? I'm gonna rapid fire you.
Yeah, it's fun. I would say meeting people is always hard. I've never been a good people person, but doing this job, I've been able to grow myself and become a better person that way and be able to touch more people.
One thing that you thought was going to be difficult that you breezed through?
The conditioning. I have a good background in sports and cross country, so it was a little bit help, but you had to put the work in. If you want to do this job, you got to be able to come out here every day and give it yourself.
You make me feel old because I'm 36, and when I first met you I was like, man, this dude is impeccable condition, and then you're like, yeah, I'm 20, and I'm just like, oh, I hate you right now. Any advice to somebody 20 years old or 45 years old that second guess getting into first responder world right now?
It's really one door at a time. You got to step through that door first and then another door, but you can't think about what's ahead, only right in front of you. If you get through that one, you get through the next day and the next day after that.
He's going to become the motivational speaker for Seminole County Fire. I appreciate you, sir. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Thank you. LT, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Guys, you just watched probably the coolest stream that we have been able to do on Trooper Steve on Patrol. Live training, dedicated men and women. Let's get back in the truck and we'll wrap this up. All right, guys, so we're going to wrap this up. I appreciate this extended, extremely extended version of Trooper Steve on patrol. This is what is happening in your community. This is what is responding to you guys on our worst day. They're training for this stuff. Your average person, and could not handle 10 minutes of what these men and women are training to do. And it's not like they have to do it every day. But on your worst day, this is what's coming to you, and you should be overwhelmingly proud that Seminole County has men and women willing to serve and come through this academy. 8 weeks is short, but it is an intense 8 weeks. And the training doesn't stop there. They go on to their station. Then from there, they float to learn some more. So the concept of thinking this is an in and out, it's not. But look at what Noah said. Take the one step if you're interested. Call a number, send an email, follow an Instagram or Facebook account. Reach out. Show up at a battalion, a station, and ask questions. I am extremely proud of what we got to witness today. Trooper Steve on patrol is getting the access and showing you the results that are happening here. So thank you guys for joining us today with the beautiful Seminole County Fire Rescue. We're going to wrap up this live stream this Tuesday before Thanksgiving. I am off for the rest of the week, so please be extremely safe on this holiday week. I want to make sure that we all make it back home safely, because you guys are the reason we get to do this. Love you guys. Take it easy. Be blessed. Wear your seatbelt.